Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast. My name is Matt.
I'm Ryan.
And we're in a little different setting today. We're actually in my parents' basement.
We are. This
is where I live now. Things have gone terribly.
Taking a turn for the worse. Game of Thrones is over and it's just snowballing downhill.
I lost my job. No, we're here. We're doing some work on a special gift for a wedding coming up.
Yep. My sister's getting married for the fifth time. No, for the first time.
So we're making her a little cornhole set for the wedding. So we're working on that, and in between, we're going to do a little podcast. We're going to talk mainly today about Game of Thrones, but we do have some things to talk about first. First up, Domino's. Driverless cars going to be delivering to our house. Here's my main problem with this.
Let's hear it.
Great. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Driverless cars are going to have no urgency. Have you ever seen a pizza delivery guy drive?
Oh, maniac.
Like maniacs.
Yeah.
Like I need that urgency when someone has my pizza. Like I need it to my house as fast as possible. Imagine the times they're going to skyrocket.
I don't want people stopping at yellow lights. You know, I don't want people yielding. Like and especially Domino's. Feidelberg from Barstool, he made a good point. He's like, there's ordering pizza and there's ordering Domino's. Yeah. Like when you're ordering Domino's, like say Tom last Saturday,
right.
Like you're ordering Domino's in a certain mindset.
Yes.
And you know, you had a cookout at your house last Saturday and it was awesome. And around midnight or so, 8 pizzas show up magically at the door.
That's Tom's MO.
It is, and it was wonderful. But like that's when you get Domino's.
Yes.
It's not like, you know what? It's 5 p.m. It's like maybe I'll just have some takeout pizza.
Yeah.
So if Domino's is coming, I need it. I need it pronto.
You need it now. It's urgency when you need it. When you need Domino's. So this is an interesting move. So obviously with these self-driving cars, there's going to be no person there.
Right.
Which there's pros and cons. Pros, I don't have to deal with a person.
Which is kind of nice.
That's great. For the same reason why I want that delivery guy driving to my house like a maniac, I don't want to have to deal with him, though.
No.
That same maniac out of his car.
Yeah, like the human-to-human interaction is never the high point of ordering a pizza.
Here's the con. You have to leave your house and go get the pizza. Which, I guess if you're already at the door, it doesn't really matter.
That big of a deal?
You know, but imagine if you live in an apartment building. Not only you go into your door, if you got to go downstairs and outside. Right. So.
And I guess what I was reading is you put in the last 4 digits of your phone number into like something, and then the window goes down, and then you get your pizza. But what's stopping you from taking everyone else's pizza? Is the car gonna stop me? No, the car's not gonna stop me. So I'm taking everybody's pizza and cheesy bread, and that's it. And their night's ruined.
That's all mine. All right. Again, when you're ordering Domino's, you're ordering it under a certain mindset. You're 3 sheets to the wind most of the time. Imagine. Let's just say, like, imagine one of us, right? Mm-hmm. Had a few too many. We order Domino's. The driverless car comes to the house. We figure out how to put our number in and open the door. There's not a chance we're grabbing the right pizza. No. We're just grabbing the first box we see and we're bringing it in the house.
Exactly. Who knows if it's right? Who cares if it's right?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. It's like, what if the pizza's wrong? Again, I don't think with Domino's it doesn't really matter. Who's ordering other than cheese and pepperoni or cheese with Domino's?
Yeah.
So.
You don't get crazy with Domino's.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see because they're testing it in Ann Arbor, Michigan, because they're partnering with Ford Motor Company. So I guess we'll see soon if it worked out. I don't know.
I feel like I feel like Detroit and Michigan is the wrong place to start the driverless car thing.
You got to do it out west, California, Seattle.
Yeah.
They're used to those robots.
Yeah. That's like going down to like Boca in Florida and being like, we're gonna have these driverless cars and like, this old lady, retired old couple, they're like waiting for their pizza and like they see the car, but they're like, honey, he's not getting out of the car.
It's just a Mexican standoff. Yeah.
So
we'll see. We'll see if it works. I mean,
interesting. I'm all about the robot cars, though.
Yeah, I like the robot car. They're basically a lot of cars. I was telling you, Holly's getting a Subaru Outback, Subaru something. And she called me while she was test driving it. She's like, I'm not doing anything.
Oh, the hands-free. Yeah,
hands-free. It puts the blinker on for you. It brakes for you. Turns the wheel. It's crazy. So.
That's awesome. I'm all about
that. If you can throw some pizza in the back seat, we'll just we'll be good to go.
Yep.
So that's the Domino's. I made a Twitter enemy. I can't imagine he's listening.
I don't think it's fair to say you made the Twitter enemy.
That's true.
I think
he sought me out.
Yeah, he sought you out.
Me and anyone else who dare tweet about Brian Butterfield. For those of you who don't know, Brian Butterfield is the third base coach for the Boston Red Sox. He's their infield coach. He's a great coach, actually. He's one of the reasons Pedroia is so great defensively. He works with all the infielders all the time. Big part of why Rafael Devers has been a successful major leaguer on the defensive side of the ball. However, he's also the third base coach. My only issue with him is he sends people no matter what. Yeah. Case in point, if you watched the Red Sox game last night, Eduardo Nunez is on second base. Jose Batista is in right field. Jose Batista has a very strong arm, and he plays very shallow. Mookie Betts hits a single to right. Jose Batista is no more than 25 feet away from the infield grass. Brian Butterfield sends Eduardo Nunez. Not only does Batista throw the ball 15, 20 feet up the third base line, he does that. The catcher goes to get it and then runs back and tags out Nunez by still 10, 15 feet.
He misses the throw.
It was a horrible throw, but he was able to catch it, run. It's like the water boy. Like, oh, look, he drops the ball. He's able to go back and get it. And
dust it off.
Yeah. So it was that, and that's the reason I'm not a big fan of Butterfield as their base coach. He sends too many guys.
Sure.
So when I made my Twitter enemy, I think it was last week.
Yeah.
The runner ended up being safe, but it was a similar situation. Butterfield sent the guy. There was 2 outs in the 9th. The catcher dropped the ball. The
reason why it wasn't out.
The Red Sox player was out by 5 or 10 steps. Yeah. Catcher dropped the ball. Red Sox player scores. They win. So I sent a tweet out saying, glad the Red Sox won, but Brian Butterfield probably shouldn't be sending any more players home. And John McGlynn, old John McGlynn, old egg face, he got on me. He's a maniac, this guy. He's a maniac.
I forgot exactly what he said to you.
I'll have to go back and look. But he basically, and if you go through his tweets, he's kind of attacking anyone who's going after Butterfield, which is an odd thing to fixate on. But he was mad at me. He told me to stick to wrestling. Which normally I wouldn't have a problem with, but it's just such a lazy thing to say because the first thing in our Twitter bio is wrestling enthusiast.
I found it.
So what was the first tweet?
So the first tweet was, you said Brian Butterfield should never be allowed to send a runner ever again, but the Red Sox win! ! And then John McGlynn at MadMace9 comes at you and goes, ha! Great send. You always take a chance with 2 outs. Can't even give credit when it's due. Stick to wrestling. And then you said, take it easy! And then John McGlynn said, have a clue, John Cena.
So he's jumping right on the wrestling thing. And we actually went back and forth for a little while. I let it go on a little too long. I should have just stopped responding
and
to
then,
him.
Of course, every person that ever attacks us online goes for the low-hanging fruit of calling us Mr. Average.
Yes.
You're literally calling us by our website's name.
Right. I appreciate that. So that's actually what we want to go by. You don't know my actual name.
So then, in full disclosure, last night when the Red Sox played...
Last night we kind of enticed him a little bit.
We did entice him a little bit. So... You put up a GIF of a windmill, and you're like a live look at live look at Brian Butterfield coaching third base, and it was a windmill going round and round in a GIF. And so I said I had a good chuckle, and then you said don't chuckle too much. His rabid fans are looking around somewhere. So then I CC'd him on my account, on my personal account, and then he goes, "The clowns are out again. Team can't score runs, and you get on a guy for pushing the envelope with 2 outs." But anyway, so this guy's a maniac.
He's a maniac, but now. We got at least hopefully if the Red Sox make it well into October, we got almost 2 months of baseball left. Something happens, Butterfield, good or bad. This is my go-to, John McGlynn. Whether we wanted to be frenemies, friends, enemies, we are now. But yeah, if you go into his tweets and replies, it's literally everything about Brian Butterfield. And Tom Brady and Julian Edelman.
If you go to our Twitter account and look at our tweets and replies, you'll see us talking with him. But I'm curious to see what kind of relationship this develops into because I got to be honest, I would love to have him calling on the show.
We'll see. We'll see.
Because
he wants me to compliment Butterfield. He's come out and told me. He goes, when something good happens, I need you to compliment him. I said, you know what? I will. If he does something good, I'm going to tweet him and say, hey, that was a good send. But until he does that, we're not going to compliment Brian Butterfield. So John McGlynn, probably not listening, but we'll be back talking to each other very soon. I know it.
All right, let's get into TV Club. So obviously TV Club we're talking about Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal.
Right.
Calista Flockhart.
Is that a movie or is that
it's a TV show?
Okay,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad I got
Harrison Ford's wife.
Really?
Her name's
married?
Calista Flockhart. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You think she'd stop him from flying planes?
Yeah, right. I thought that just no one like watches after him. He just kind of like does whatever he
roams.
wants. That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
right?
like he's just a crazy elderly person.
Obviously, it's Game of Thrones, the season 7 finale. I gotta be honest with you, I am absolutely blown away that the season's already over. it happened so fast. Everything happened so fast. I feel like we were just excited for like the season episode 1. This is wild.
And you knew it was going to go by fast because obviously you knew it was only 7 episodes.
Yeah.
But still.
7 episodes never went by so fast.
No.
No.
Just zip by. But it was the season 7 finale, the 7th episode, titled "The Dragon and the Wolf," directed by series veteran Jeremy Podeswa. This was his 6th episode. Did a great job as they've all done this year. And a long episode, over 80 minutes.
The longest episode
was kind of cool because it's going to get you used to next year, or hopefully next year, but next season when they're going to be even longer.
I think that there's already a countdown for the next season. I saw something online. I don't know how official it is, but it's like May 2019.
Wouldn't shock me.
So, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. Like, it could be like summer, fall of 2019. We have to wait like actually 2 years, but it's a little shy.
The only good thing is we're getting into like Friday, September. I mean, I was looking the other day at just maybe if we wanted to do something else with TV Club till Walking Dead comes back.
Yeah,
we can figure it out. But there's so many shows that I watch that are premiering in September. So I think once you have something else to focus on, ideally, like from now till May 2019, I don't just focus on Game of Thrones. It was so good, but there's going to be, once Walking Dead comes back, that kind of gets my creative gears thinking. And even though they're not on the Game of Thrones level, at least it's a similar show with a ton of characters. So hopefully soon something else will invade my TV mind space.
I actually think I don't want to get off too far, but I think I'm going to start watching Westworld.
Okay.
So another
That'll
HBO, because I need more HBO is what I need.
Yes, you do.
So, all right, The Dragon and the Wolf. In this episode, we finally have a meeting of what you're calling the big 3, and I think that's very astute. I think that the big 3, you got Cersei, you got Jon Snow, you got Daenerys Targaryen. Or, I mean, not Jon Snow. We'll get into that in a minute. Yeah. But so, what did you like about this meeting? What was like unique about it? I remember a couple episodes ago when we had Jaime about to joust against Daenerys and just like put a spear through her. We found that very interesting because this is the first time that a principal character was going after another principal character to like kill them, like in a long time, you know? So right here we have like literally all the main characters in one area at once.
Any interaction goes bad, and it's a main character going after a main character.
Yes.
I like the lead up was kind of cool. I know I put it down a little bit in the doc, but like the reunions, I thought it was really cool because there's so much, and it credits the Game of Thrones writers. There's so much history behind even a character like Podrick. Yeah. Like seeing him and Tyrion reunite was really cool. Yep. Seeing Podrick and Bronn reunite. Was really cool. Yep. But the reunions for me were really cool. Things I was looking forward to. I know a lot of people wanted the Clegane Bowl to happen. Wasn't the right spot for it.
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
you can't just have that. And the Hound knows too. Yeah. You know, I mean, and it's interesting because this is the first time you saw the Mountain as something other than just this like robot life force. Like he kind of stood there and was listening to what the Hound says and almost understood it. Yeah. Which was kind of cool.
He said that, didn't the Hound was like, you know hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know I'm coming for you, that type of thing. He knew it wasn't the right spot because, bigger business.
I love that line. He goes, you know what's coming for you. That was awesome. He didn't even I'm assuming he means himself, right? But he didn't even classify himself as a who. Like, he classified himself as a what. Yeah. You know what's coming for you.
So kind of like he's bringing the pain.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was cool.
Another reunion in that area that I thought was a little understated and I thought I really liked was the Hound again, but this time with Brienne. I thought that was awesome. I was waiting for this. Now I'm just waiting for the other side of that. I'm waiting for the Hound to see Arya, but I really liked when he like walked up beside her and Brienne like did like a double take and was like, "Didn't I kill you?" And he's like, "Almost." And or he's like, you had a good shot at it, whatever. And then they talked about Arya for a minute, and you could tell that like the Hound was actually like, like he's like Brienne told her Arya's still alive, and then he immediately snapped into like, well, then who's protecting her if you're not? Because he still cares about her.
Because I think that was like the biggest part of the Hound becoming such an important character was the storyline he had with Arya. Yep. Because before that, like he's really no different than the Mountain in our eyes. Not at all. No. But this shows an empathy side to him, and he was so great in during that storyline. Yeah. And I love the part at the end. When when he said who's protecting her to Brienne, she's like, I don't think she needs anyone protecting her, and like whoever like comes up to her is gonna get taken out, and he just smiled. He's like, won't be me. Yeah. Like he couldn't be prouder that she's a little ass kicker now.
I'm really, because now also like I don't want to get too far ahead, but also like with you get kind of like a softer side to I mean, not really softer side to Arya, but you get like with her and her sister, they're talking about her dad and like quoting their dad. So like you get that little softer side to Arya. So I'm really curious to see if I'm assuming they're going to Winterfell now. So I'm assuming the Hound will see Arya again because I'm assuming that Jon Snow will see Arya.
I believe
they're
so.
all together. So I'm curious to see what the Hound and Arya meeting again will be like. You know, will she run up and like greet him? Like, will it be kind of like a very stoic like?
I think it'll be like a professional.
Yeah. I think you're probably
nice
right.
to see you again type of thing because she's basically in that world now. You know, she's no longer like a little kid. She's just a.
She has no idea he's alive. Like she knows he's dead. Yeah. He's dead. Yeah. So or maybe like she pardons him from her list, even though he's still alive. You know, because he was on her list, right?
I think.
Wasn't he? Because I remember when he was.
Yeah, I think he was.
I remember when he was teaching her how to fight. She kept saying the name. He's like, "What's that list?" It's like the list of people I'm going to kill, and he's like, "Oh fuck! Like, I'm teaching you how to kill people."
But like she just wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't there yet at the time, but now she's pretty capable.
Yes, very capable.
But I like the reunions. I thought that was really cool, and you could tell. Like I read online, and it was a good point. Like in a different season. All those reunions would have been, I feel like each reunion would have had like their own sit down 10, 15-minute conversation.
Yeah.
But things are speeding up so quickly now they had to all do it in one walk from, where they met Bronn to the actual meeting of the big three. So that was kind of that's like, I guess, a negative of having to speed everything up so quickly. But again, you can't complain because the action's moving so quickly and everything's happening.
Did you think when the Hound carries up the White Walker in the box, and he puts it down, did you think the White Walker was going to be dead and it was going to be off? I knew that they were going to try and pull that.
I'm
like,
glad
make people think.
They gave you. I had maybe a little bit of doubt. Yeah, because I was like, this.
They definitely put a little bit of doubt into people because I was like, oh man, like what if it's dead? Like what if it's dead? And I knew like deep down I was like, it's not going to be dead.
Yeah.
So that was.
I
cool.
did get flashbacks though to last year's season finale, like when everyone was there besides Daenerys. For this one, when they all finally got to the, what are we calling it? Where they met? It wasn't like a palace. It was a.
Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Like where did they all meet? Where did Daenerys? Where did they have like
Dragonstone?
Yeah, no, the
Oh, the dragon pit.
Is that what it is? The dragon pit.
They call it the dragon. Shit.
Because it was where the Targaryens used to chain the dragons up, right?
Yeah.
And then, because I remember Daenerys was talking with Jon about that's why they got so small and weak and stuff. But for last year's finale, when everyone was waiting at Marjorie's brother's trial, waiting for Cersei, and then she blows it up. It had that same feel, like when everyone's sitting waiting, like where's Cersei? Yeah, I knew you're not gonna kill everyone there, but it had that same feel of like, hey, she's not here. What's going on?
That's what they were risking by going there. That could have happened,
right? Because she's a maniac. Yep. So that was kind of a cool feel. I actually read something online about the reason Bronn and Podrick left is because Bronn and Cersei like can't be in scenes together. They just hate each other in real life.
Bronn and Cersei? Really?
I guess they used to date.
Really?
Yeah. If you notice, they're never in scenes together.
Yeah, no.
And I guess like Bronn had to at least walk them up, but they like refused to even be in like the same scene together.
Really?
And that scene took like 3 days to shoot.
Because they had to like keep cycling them in and out. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
So I don't know how true it is. I know they did used to date. I did confirm that, but because it was odd because he's played such an important role. Yeah. And he's like, I'm just gonna go. Okay.
Do you think Jaime is going to pick up Bronn on his way out of King's Landing?
Didn't seem like it.
It didn't seem like it, but I mean, why would he? Why else would he? Like, don't you think Bronn would want to be on the winning side of things with Jaime?
Yeah, because I mean, he definitely. I don't think he wants to.
Right, Jaime's out. Jaime's
gone.
Right, Jaime's gone.
Like, thankfully, Cersei didn't kill him, but
which it didn't look good for.
It didn't look good.
It did not look good for.
But I think Jaime's gone.
So anyway, Cersei agrees.
Yep.
Only if Jon Snow bends the knee to Cersei.
Good old Jon Snow.
Good old Jon Snow, man of his word, does not because he already bent his knee to Daenerys.
It's honorable, but it's like, come on.
And Daenerys says that. It's like, like I appreciate the
just lie.
Yeah, just please lie for a minute.
But another thing I read is that the words need to have meaning speech was filmed on the day Trump was elected.
Words need to have meaning? Really?
Like, once you lie, words cease to have meaning. Okay. You're just saying things.
Yeah.
And I guess the writers kind of did that as like just because how the whole election was playing out.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew that he was going to win yet. But It makes sense because that's kind of the society, the fake news society you're living
Yeah.
in. I mean, even though it's translated to medieval fantasy times,
Yes.
it's still true. I mean, if you just
Are
lie,
we really that different now? Right now?
no, we're not.
Medieval fantasy.
Yeah,
times?
maybe less dragons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, just a little bit less dragons. That's about it.
But I thought that was interesting, and it did have that feel of like, if I have to be the only honorable man, then I'll be the only honorable man.
Yeah, good for him. I like that about his character. It's not, even though it was frustrating that he did that. Like that's absolutely what Jon Snow would do, and it's not at all like a negative thing about his character. Like we've seen that in other TV shows where the person's too honorable. It's like, come on.
Like you're almost honorable to the point of being an idiot.
Yeah, it works with him.
It does.
It's that's just what Jon Snow is going to do, and you know what's going to happen. So Cersei walks out of there, no deal. Tyrion goes to convince her. They have kind of like an exchange, and like he threatens Cersei to have him killed.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it, just do it. Like, you know what I mean? So it seems like they come to an understanding. Cersei comes back out, and she makes a really great line that I thought that if she wasn't gonna turn on them, this would be like a reason for them all working together. And she says, remember this, after like everything with the White Walkers, that I agreed to help without anything from you guys, because Jon Snow didn't pledge his allegiance. Nobody was like helping her out. She
Right.
was only helping them out, and really all the human race. But I thought that was a really interesting line, and I was like, but in the back of my mind, that Cersei's Cersei. What did you think when Euron left? Did you think that he?
I did, to be honest.
I thought he was gone.
I thought
right?
he was gone
Me too.
because his character has been so like whatever it needs to be in that moment.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know what? He's been selfish this whole time. Like he really just wanted to bang Cersei.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's really helping her,
Yeah.
and then he would be king or whatever.
Yeah. See, now I thought that.
But I thought he was gone.
Yeah, because when he left, I'm like, okay, he's out of here, and then you get the scene with Theon before you find out that Cersei turned, right?
Yeah.
You get the scene with Theon, and Theon goes out and is going to go help Yara. I thought this would be the perfect time. Like he can either kill Euron or sacrifice himself to save Yara, and then the what's that army? The Ironborn.
Iron Bank.
The
Golden Company.
Well, before that, because we didn't know that he was going to get that at that point, right?
Yeah, like Euron's army.
I'm just saying that like Euron fled the coup, and I thought that would be a perfect time for his character's timeline to end, and for like either Theon to like dive in front of the sword. But now that we know he's actually going to get the thing, it's gonna like not end well for Theon.
No,
it's not gonna end well at all for him. So
especially if he could barely beat that random sailor guy.
Yeah, but Jaime's right though. When Jaime confronts Cersei, like it's either they help defeat the White Walkers and they help everybody, and then it was like either.
So if the White Walkers win, they're going to come and kill everyone.
Yeah.
If Dany and Jon win, they're going to come for revenge.
Yeah.
So you're shooting yourself in the foot for no reason. And I understand her logic in a way, because they're obviously going to have to come from the south and then finish up in the north. But you're talking about undead.
Yeah.
Who you root for in that situation? I guess you root for Jon and Dany and hope they don't want to. Their forces are so depleted, but like they're never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
That you just let them do that.
So now I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it's so hard to break down these episodes without having to like look forward.
Because they jump around.
So what do you think for next season? What do you think the breakup is going to be of the White Walkers and the King's Landing politics, or do you think it's going to be a whole intertwining thing the whole way? Do you think they're going to make quick work of the White Walkers halfway through the season, then turn and finish the series in King's Landing?
No, I think the White Walker battle with the Night King is the end.
Is the end?
Yeah. I don't think I don't think they're gonna resolve the human battle.
I could see. I was talking with this. Did I talk about with Lindy? I forget who. Maybe G-Mac. I was saying I think that the Night King is going to be the last. I think that's going to be like the stamp on the series, and then I think that you're going to get a flash forward.
Yeah.
To life in King's Landing, like after everything.
How it's going. Because the thing is, like, even because once they kill the White Walkers, they're just gonna go back to being feuding families. Like, you don't change that.
Yeah.
Just like it's not the type of universe, at least in my opinion, that having like a shared understanding of something, say the White Walkers need to die, it'll bring people together for self-preservation. It's not gonna bring people together for anything other than that.
Right now, I think that Westeros has the best chance of peace this is the strain with the White Walkers. Even like without the White Walkers, I think right now Westeros is the best chance of peace with Daenerys or Jon on the throne.
Even Cersei though, showing restraint with
Sure.
Tyrion, but I think Cersei's restraint stops at her bloodline.
But right, if you think about what the houses around Westeros look like, no one at Highgarden.
Yeah.
There's no one at Hornhill, the Tarleys.
No one
right?
in Dorne.
Well, I mean, technically Samwell. Like, that'd be a perfectly good person
Oh, yeah.
to head up Hornhill. You know what I mean?
Delightful
That's fine,
guy.
right? Or even if Bronn takes over one of them.
Yeah.
You got no one at Dragonstone, which, I'm assuming once Daenerys, like, gets her family started again, at least there'll be Targaryens there. Or, you know what I mean?
Davos.
Like, yeah, like, there's no,
No one in Dorne.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So, like, there's a chance to, like, start over. It's almost like the reset button.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think it's just one of those things. It's like it'll just forever. It'll keep going. Because when we talk about the rightful heir to a throne, it's like who is actually the rightful heir to the throne? It's really the person who made the throne. Because
Whoever has the most power, really, at that moment.
there was always kings before, and there'll always be kings after, and it's almost never the same last name. Like you got, I mean, the Targaryens were the rightful heirs to the throne, but before them, who did they knock off to get that throne? You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Yeah, they didn't just invent things.
Yeah.
But going back to, because when Cersei leaves when Jon doesn't bend the knee, Tyrion goes after her.
Yes.
And goes to basically just say, like, what the hell, and then in a little more eloquent terms than that.
What the hell? Seriously.
All right, I'll do it. But it was interesting because when I was watching it with Holly, and when Tyrion offers the wine, Holly's like, oh, did he poison the wine? But it was more of, like, that was the first sign that she's pregnant. Like, to Tyrion, like, when the hell does Cersei ever deny wine?
Yeah.
So she didn't drink it, and then she puts her hand to her stomach, and then that's when he sees that she's pregnant. So the theory we were talking about earlier, which Holly had mentioned to me, and then I saw online, the theory that I saw was that we don't see it on screen. But because Tyrion's talking a lot about, he obviously doesn't care that he killed his father. His father was, as much as he was a powerful man, treated Tyrion like shit his whole life, stole his girl, all that stuff. But he clearly felt bad about the death of Cersei's children, even though he didn't directly kill them.
Yeah.
He had to feel bad about Tommen and what's the other one? The woman, the girl, Marcella. He had to feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Joffrey, probably not so much. He was a dickhead. But still, it's Cersei's kids. So they had a lot of talk about how he loved the kids and how he feels so bad that they passed. And now he finds out Cersei has another kid. So the theory I read was that he made a secret pact with Cersei, which she immediately broke anyway. But in Tyrion's mind, he told her, if you agree to help us defeat the White Walkers, Daenerys can't have children. Yeah. She doesn't have any heir. Like, they're not going to put a dragon on the throne. Yeah. That's a talking dragon. I don't know. But so when your child is born, it will be the heir to the throne.
Yeah.
And I think Cersei agreed to that, agreed to help them. And I think later in the show, when you see Tyrion going to talk with Daenerys, I think that's what he was going to talk to her about. Kind of just say, look, this is why Cersei agreed. We've already talked that you can't have heirs, and they would have hashed it out. However,
I don't think Daenerys would like that at all. I think Daenerys would be kind of upset that he made that deal. I also think that it's going to have to come out that it's interesting because I'm trying to see how this can come out as a compelling piece of storyline, because if Tyrion tells Daenerys before they find out that Cersei turned on them, right? It's going to cause a rift between them. But the audience already knows that it's not going to matter because Cersei turned on them. But it might matter for Tyrion.
It could matter with the relationship between Tyrion and Dany.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, eventually they're going to be like, there's not thousands of Lannister troops. Help me out.
Yeah. Well, I think as soon as Jaime gets...
Depends on how they do the timeline.
Yeah. Do we think Jaime's going right there?
Where else would he be going?
He has
unless
to,
he's
right?
going to cut off. Unless he's going to cut off Euron, but he's not crazy. Like, you can't do that on your own.
Yeah, but why would he go cut off Euron? If anything, they're going to need that army. They're mercenaries. They're going to listen to whoever controls them. So he needs to control the situation. But right now, the better thing is he needs to control the situation with the lady who has the dragons. Like, she needs to be, she's going to be the one that can stop.
He must be going to them. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. I don't know why else he would go there.
So.
But yeah, it's just like an interesting theory that does kind of get thrown off a little bit by Cersei immediately backstabbing him.
Yeah. I kind of saw it coming. I knew that Cersei wasn't going to immediately agree to that. That was way too soft of a
It was.
That's not her character at all. Even though she did look terrified, but she doesn't seem to care. Doesn't seem to care.
No, I'm just glad she didn't kill him. I mean, she had 2 chances to kill both of her brothers, and
I gotta be honest. I thought that all the gold that they were gonna pay back the Iron Bank was gone after the Spoils of War episode. I thought that's why they.
I guess some of it got away.
I guess, right? But it seemed like, because even with that episode, they were talking about at the beginning, they're like, don't worry, you'll get your gold. And then the dragon swoops in, and you see the dragon in action and destroys all, like, the convoy. But I thought that was like, oh, they're fucked. Like, now, like, the Iron Bank's not going to back them, but I guess they must have got gold from somewhere else.
Yeah. They clearly had the money. So now, where do you want to go to now? Do you want to go to...
You want to talk about Sam and Bran?
Yeah, we'll do that one.
That's funny. So
because we still have the Sansa Arya Littlefinger too.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, let's finish with that. Let's finish with that.
Yeah, because that was my favorite scene.
Yeah. So Samwell shows up at Winterfell. Yeah, well, shows up at Winterfell.
Yeah.
Samwell.
Yep.
With little Sam and with Gilly.
Yep.
And he walks in the room and he says, "Bran." He's like, "I remember you, Samwell. Like I always remember." He said, "I always remember a good man," or something.
Something like, yeah, you were a good man to my family, blah blah, something like that.
Yeah. And then what? Do you know what the exact line is?
Samwell says, "Oh, how was your trip beyond the wall, or whatever?" And then he's like, "I'm the 3-eyed raven now," and oh,
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. That was my favorite reaction on Game of Thrones. It was so perfect. Because he says, because Bran says everything so like, I'm the 3-eyed raven now. Like,
and Samuel's just like, oh,
well, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
So I thought that was really cool.
And then he says something else. He says something else. And it's like such a cocky move. He says something, and then Bran responds, "I know everything." And
I see everything.
Yeah, I see everything. Yeah.
But so then they get into the title of the episode, which is something we've known. Parts of it we've known for a while.
The pieces were all out there.
Yeah, the pieces were all out there, and actually Sam does not give Gilly enough credit because she's the one who was reading it. Mm-hmm. Was it last episode or the episode before?
I think the episode before, and I didn't think that Sam picked up on it.
He didn't. He definitely didn't.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess on the ride
they were talking
about it. But so Sam says that. Well, Bran says that Jon Snow is a Targaryen and a Stark.
Yes.
But he still thinks he's a bastard.
Yes.
So which kind of tells me that Bran can only see things when he's focused on what he needs to see.
Yeah.
Like he can't just be like, take me to when Jon was born.
Yeah, Jon's
but Bran
whole
can
lineage.
focus him into it.
So
because he called him Sand, right?
Sand, right? So I remember this from earlier seasons of Game of Thrones. Bastards in the South are called Sand. Their last name is Sand. The North is Snow.
Okay.
So that's where that was from. He's Jon Sand.
Jon Sand.
Wild name. So much worse than Jon Snow. Imagine like the whole time you were just called Jon Sand instead of Jon Snow. I bet if he was called Jon Sand the whole time, we would be like, oh, Jon Snow, what a fucking weird name.
Yeah. But Jon Sand sounds real odd.
It's bad. That's bad. So then we find out that his name is actually, it does a flashback to Lyanna. And it's Aegon Targaryen, which... From what I understand about the books, and I think you might be able to fill me in a little more with Holly knows.
Yeah, Aegon is actually supposed to be the brother.
Yeah, he was the one who was
like a stepbrother.
Lost. Yeah, he was like lost and like he was presumed dead.
Yeah, presumed dead by the mountain.
Yeah,
when he killed Lyanna and his sister.
In this case, it's actually the 3 brothers, the 3 siblings of Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King, is Dany, Viserys and Rhaegar.
Yeah.
And so Aegon is the son of Rhaegar in this one. Yeah. So I actually went back and I went online and I looked up the whole Targaryen family tree from the TV show because I know it's a little different in the books. But so I just to like wrap my mind around it.
There's a lot.
So Rhaegar was originally married to Martella she's from Dorne. Oberyn's sister.
Yeah.
They had a kid that was killed by the mountain, and Martella was also killed by the mountain.
Yeah.
Raped and killed by the mountain.
Yes.
Because he said that 100 times when he got his eyes, before he got his eyes got shot. And so then that marriage was annulled, and before she was dead, I think. And
Ned's sister.
In secret. So it's a legitimate marriage, which makes him Aegon Targaryen.
And the true heir to the throne, because he has more of a right than Dany.
Yes.
So interesting. And as we're learning that, he's a Targaryen.
Yeah.
So it's like a voiceover
Yeah.
And as we're learning it,
That's right. And Daenerys
John Sand, as he shall now be known. No. And what did you think? I mean,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
and it's not, and this is going to sound weird out of
It's not-
context. It's not the incest.
Yes, it's not the incest.
No.
No.
I mean, I'm not a fan of incest,
Yeah.
but it's not it's just like it seemed so forced.
It did seem forced.
And it was like such a foregone conclusion that like I would have been happier if they didn't do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like everyone was expecting it. It wasn't necessary.
I think it would have been. I think what would have been better is if they didn't do it and they were both like kind of angry with themselves that they weren't like giving into their like passions,
Carnal
for each
pleasures.
Other, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to each other, and then they find out that like, their aunt and nephew, and then they're like, okay, like I'm glad we did that. Didn't do that. I was like, now it makes sense. Like here's the.
We need to, but I mean, I guess it makes for a better storyline because basically everyone that Danny's like been with romantically, like it hasn't worked out, that type of thing. So that's probably going to cause some friction between them. I thought it was a cool reveal scene to like actually confirm it, but HBO just can't resist putting the incest
It was
over
total
it.
fan service.
Yeah. How about Tyrion? He just everywhere he goes, incest. Like he's with the Lannisters.
I can't escape.
Yeah, stop having sex with your
Stop.
siblings. I mean,
Stop.
he didn't know they were siblings
Yeah, he
or related, but yeah, it was cool. And that's the dragon and the wolf. So
Dragon.
these
He is the-
Rhaegar Targaryen's the dragon and Stark is the wolf.
I thought this was excellent foreshadowing in the episode when he was talking to Theon. We'll go back to that. When Theon was kind of like, ashamed at who he was and who he became and how he should have always like known himself to be a Stark and not a Greyjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And John was like, well, you're both. Like you're a Greyjoy and you're a Stark and you can be both. And so that's like very good foreshadowing.
That was
and
pretty cool.
He should take that advice himself and like he can be a Stark. I mean, because he is a Stark. He showed that he's Ned Stark's kid when he did not bend the knee to Cersei in the Dragon Pit.
Yeah.
That's
what Ned Stark would have done.
That's Ned Stark. Even if it meant his head, that's Ned Stark. And it didn't mean Ned Stark's
It
head.
did.
So
Luckily, John escaped, but
so he is a Stark and he is a Targaryen, and I think that hopefully if both of them survive till the end of the series, that'll work out. I don't think there's going to be an issue between him and Daenerys, like as far as like Jon should be the true heir to the throne, like that. I think he just wants to rule Winterfell. I think that's his home. Like that, I think that's where that
right.
That's
He's
where
he's not someone where the power is going to go to his head. Like, oh, I'm the rightful heir. I need to be the rightful heir now.
No, I wonder if Gendry somehow slips into the mix towards the end. Right?
Good world class sprinter.
That's right. He can just sprint to the throne. First person to sit on it wins.
I got it. I'm here. But speaking of Theon, he had a really good episode. I mean, it was about time. The character's been through so much. And he had the talk with Jon, which I think was huge for him. And then he fought I'm assuming he was basically like a lieutenant in the Greyjoy army, that guy he fought.
Yeah.
And who knew not having a dick would come in handy.
I thought that was so, like, that wasn't the right... Like,
it was definitely misplaced for a Game of Thrones
it was
thing.
off tone for that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Fuck, what word am I looking for? It wasn't the right, like... Yeah, it wasn't the right tone for the scene. Like, it was just, like, kind of like, it was a little off.
Like the only reason they're following him is because he beat this guy to death?
Yeah, well, I mean they literally drowned their kings before
That's
they
true.
could become kings. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that, even though the battle royale on the beach was a little weird. But like when he's fighting them, and then the turning point is he gets kneed in the nuts twice, and he has no dick and balls, so he's all right. Like,
But that hurt. That couldn't hurt the other guy. He's just kicking nothing.
No, and then like Theon rallies and like
Yeah.
But that just didn't sit right with me. It's like, this is not a slapstick comedy. We're not watching the Three Stooges. Like this is Game of Thrones. It should have been he should have been killed on the beach that way, like Theon, or they should have ended that way. I don't know.
I agree.
I just didn't like that.
But I mean, I guess it was done in a weird way, but they needed some reason or some way to get Theon, who's now I'm assuming is going to be chasing after Euron,
And he has no idea he's going to be either with the Golden Company or
close to them.
Close to getting them.
So before we move on to, because we have a couple more scenes to examine, but something I read about Essos. Essos has something called the Dragon Binder, which is like a horn that whoever possesses it can blow into, and it gives them control of a dragon.
Okay.
So, but that's an Essos.
But that's where the Iron Bank is, right?
Yeah, that's where Euron's going.
Yeah.
So what I was reading is like when Euron goes, he gets the Golden Company. He finds out about this because Euron knows a dragon exists. He saw Daenerys ride in on it. He could get the Dragon Binder, and then maybe in the battle, Daenerys or Jon gets it, and that's how they get the White Walker dragon back.
Ooh.
and that's how they defeat the Night King.
I thought you were going to say that
No,
Euron
I don't think
uses
Euron would use it, but I think Euron's going to bring it into the equation because I mean, if you know the ending scene, which we'll talk about, but how the hell are you going to defeat the Night King without taking down the dragon?
Do you think that maybe Theon gets it from him?
Maybe Theon defeats him and gives it to Jon Snow.
Yeah. The thing is with the Night King, the way he can throw ice spears on a dragon,
not ideal.
Yeah, not ideal. Not great.
No.
Not great.
So, but I think that's like a cool thing that they haven't introduced yet. But I saw it was someone who reads the books put it up that it's something in the books that no one's ever used, but it's something that exists. So maybe Euron hears about it, takes it, probably murders someone for it, and then it hopefully gets into the hands of Theon, Jon, or Dany, and then they can get the White Walker dragon back.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. That would be
because they're not just going to be like, "Hey, come on back, Viserion."
Yeah.
It's like no, I'm actually breathing.
That's awesome. I like that.
So that's something to throw out there.
So you want to move back to Winterfell for the final, right? Is that?
We got two more. So we got the wall with the final scene.
Oh, right.
So we can do that, and then we'll go to our favorite scene.
Yes.
Yeah. So the end of the episode, Tormund, our buddy Tormund, just hanging out on Eastwatch, right? There's Eastwatch, that part of the wall.
Yeah, Eastwatch near the ocean.
And
with Beric.
With Beric, and sees the White Army approach, and then
very big,
very big, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
I'm glad because I didn't want to wait till next season to see what the dragon was going to look like as a White Walker. So I'm glad we saw it right away.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good for the living.
No, it's not good.
So the dragon now breathes some type of blue fire.
It must be fire because how else would it take down the wall?
Right, because the wall's all ice.
Yeah, it can't be ice.
Couldn't be ice. They would just put more ice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're making it stronger. Why?
Stop it. So it basically cuts the wall in half. Yeah. And Tormund, I don't think is gone. Like he can't go that way.
No, I think
because parts of the wall is still standing.
Yeah, I think they were on the inner part of the wall, like towards the middle, like towards like inland, and I think they're still like trapped at the top of the wall. So I think that like the army's just gonna like walk by them, and they're just gonna stay where they're at. And I think eventually they'll find their way down and maybe beat the army to Winterfell.
If they're smart, you hang where you are.
Right. If they're smart,
they're going by you.
But I'm sure that they're going to have to warn.
Yes.
Snow and
right.
Well, yeah.
Better hope a raven's nearby.
Jesus, right? Maybe they have ravens still.
Maybe I hope so. But so that was a cool way to end it, and put like an exclamation point on the White Walkers this season, who are all powerful. The Night King has not lost any steam.
No,
he's just getting stronger and stronger. Now he has a dragon.
Yep.
So I thought that was a nice exclamation point and reiterated the very real threat that the White Walkers are going to cause to still a divided group.
Yeah.
And Cersei, we find out, is not going to be helping out. So Jon and Dany are going to be in trouble. I wonder how the season opens. Like, are they going to play? Because there's only 6 episodes.
Well, they're going to be. The thing is, I don't know how it's going to open, but I think every episode is going to touch on every storyline because it's going to be so long. They're going to be so long.
They're going to be like mini movies.
It's going to be like, obviously, like this most recent one. It's going to be so long, so they're going to touch on everything. But how it opens, if I were to guess, it won't open up on the White Walkers.
No.
I think it'll open up on Winterfell.
Maybe like Winterfell's doing good, prospering.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems like they're running out of food.
They are. They got to find some hogs.
Maybe Arya wearing Peter Baelish's face. Maybe we get a throwback to the start of this season with Arya wearing Walder Frey's face. Maybe we get her wearing Peter Baelish's face for
crosses someone else off our list.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun. Yeah. That's what she does now.
I'm gonna make a call right now. I think that's how Arya is going to kill Cersei. I think that Arya will die at Arya's hand with.
That's still something I'm waiting for. I want her to see Cersei.
Nobody's sending ravens for Peter Baelish.
No,
for his death. Nobody's sending ravens for his death. Nobody knows he's dead. If Cersei happens to see Peter Baelish back in King's Landing, like imagine if
and he's like, oh, I turned them against each other.
Yeah, like imagine like you see, because now Sansa knows and accepts that Arya's a faceless man, right? Faceless woman, whatever. But imagine like one of the last scenes for Cersei, like you see like someone like waiting to enter the chambers, and like you don't know who it is, but then you like kind of recognize what he's wearing, and it's like it's Peter Baelish, and it's.
Or it could be because they still have that woman who is like one of the helpers who always is like bringing stuff.
Yeah,
to
I
Cersei.
remember we talked about that too. Yeah,
So,
it could be.
but she's got to put on someone else's face. Like that's especially to get around the mountain. But hey, maybe Hound takes out the mountain. Cersei's vulnerable.
Yep.
She's only got that witch man.
Yeah.
That weirdo. I don't like him. He creeps me out.
Weird.
But so the final scene we're going to talk about, which I think we both agreed was our favorite scene of the episode, just a huge scene, was the trial of what we thought was going to be Arya Stark. So Littlefinger is plotting with Sansa earlier in the episode. He plays a little game with her, which is basically to think of, if you're trying to get in someone else's head, what's her worst intention, his or her worst intention.
Yeah.
And he plays the game with her and kind of drills it in Sansa's head that Arya is trying to become the Lady of Winterfell and take out Sansa. Based on what we saw last episode, Arya and Sansa butting heads makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Sansa has Arya summoned, and all the Lords of the Vale are there, and all the soldiers are there, and it looks like it's a trial for Arya's life.
Yeah.
And then the swerve, the line,
yes,
which I thought was so perfectly executed. We'll get into why we didn't really like the build up in a second, but if you just take that one quick 30-second scene for what it is, what did she say? How do you plead Lord Baelish?
Yes.
And then the camera pans, and then
his his acting is great. He goes from like the calm, cool, collected
because
Peter
he's just
Baelish.
smiling there like a little creep, and then it's just like the what? Like, hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yep.
Which I thought was awesome. And they got him. They turned on him. But the build, it was confusing.
I honestly, the more we're talking about it now, the less I have like a really issue. I don't have a real issue with it. But my thing was, we didn't see like, of course, this was a big turn because we didn't see Arya and Sansa like figure out that Peter Baelish is working against them. You know what I mean? Like trying to pin them against each other. But now that I'm thinking about it, now that you bring up that scene where Peter Baelish is playing the game with Sansa, like, Sansa could have absolutely just been playing into it with Peter Baelish.
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
Right?
I think, she was.
So I think at that point she had turned, and I think if you picked up on some cues in that scene, you could have like seen it coming. But I just didn't like that they didn't really like Arya and Sansa didn't like behind the scenes like figure it out, and that would make for so it's like a double-edged sword. Like that would make it for a less of like a cool like twist.
Yeah, because then that scene wouldn't have had as much impact.
But also, it's like you could make anything a twist if you just pull it out of nowhere, like and have nothing to base it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword. But I think it worked out okay. I love the resolution of it though. I love Peter, and I love the character Peter Baelish. Unfortunately, I picked him.
Do we curse him?
What?
Did we curse him?
We might have cursed him.
Because I vividly remember after the first episode, us both saying, like, we think he's going to be on the Iron Throne at the end.
Yeah, we gave him the
6
Ryan
episodes
Stick.
later, there he is.
The average nobody's podcast thing.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, now he's dead, throat slit, but face still intact.
Face still intact. So yeah, she did just do a slice below, which is a perfect peel.
Yep.
If you're thinking
Imagine
about,
she started peeling his face in front of everybody. Oh, what is she
Stop
doing?
it.
Stop! Arya, stop!
Please
stop!
It's too much. But I thought it was really cool, and it was big for. It was a win for the Starks, which is always big.
Yes,
but it was big
win.
for all three of them to kind of come into their own. Like
Yes.
a couple of the notes I wrote down. So Sansa becomes the Lady of Winterfell because she's making this call. This is a huge call.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who brought troops in to save Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
You're having him killed. I mean, obviously,
It works in her favor that the Vale doesn't really give a shit about Peter Baelish.
Right. It's like, whatever, we'll fight for you.
Yeah.
They pledged their allegiance to the Lady of Winterfell, so that's all set. Arya she doesn't really evolve. She just solidified her spot as a murderer.
Yes.
In that just like casual walk up and throat slit. And then her hands behind her back and walks away. Like, if I ever start killing people, that's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to happen.
Nice and professional and casual. And then Bran coming in huge, which is something I was thinking about after we talked about how like the lead up last week was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But what if they met with Bran and he had the focus of he can see, because he obviously, when he was talking with Littlefinger, he knew about the dagger.
Maybe
and
he came to Sansa and was like, "Hey, listen, you need to know something."
I'm the Red Raven. Excuse me?
Red Raven.
What does that mean? Oh. But so it was kind of cool to see all three of them working together.
Yeah.
You know, Ned Stark would be proud.
It's also interesting, and like I get it, it's a storyline, so I'm being difficult with Game of Thrones right now. But it's also funny that they just take the kid who calls himself the crippled kid who calls himself the Three-Eyed Raven, like they just take what he says for law. It's like, oh, Bran, what happened? Yeah, well, it's not his dagger. It's not Bran. It wasn't Tyrion's dagger. It was his. He killed Ned Stark. Like
He started Robert's rebellion.
Yeah.
He did it all. All right, yeah, we believe
Okay,
him.
yeah, it's him. He said it. The
He
three-eyed
said it.
raven.
The kid in the wheelchair said it? What? You believe in him?
If Samwell doesn't know what the three-eyed raven is, then no one else could possibly even comprehend
No,
what the three-eyed raven.
because he's the only one who reads
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
universe. No one else even reads.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I thought it was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Nice to see the Stark children on top. For how long? Probably not too long. But
Peter Baelish slipped.
he did.
He slipped.
Made a big mistake.
He was playing the game, and the game came crashing down on top of him.
Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is the ladder.
And he fell off the top rung.
He did. Absolutely. Yeah, that was great. I like
you.
that.
Well, it's gonna be the cover of my book. Title of my book.
They should. I think if WWE was smart, the next TLC they do, TLC they do, they should have the promo be Chaos is the ladder.
Just like Peter Baelish.
Yeah, they should like have who's the guy who does the videos? Ryan. Who's the guy who does the videos for WWE? The promo videos.
Their executive Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn,
Yeah.
not Ryan. Can't have Kevin Dunn do it and have the package be like Chaos is the ladder, right?
And then I think you're onto something. WWE, you're probably listening. So.
Hey, call us.
Number is 1.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out what our next TV club is.
Yeah, if you keep up with us
Yes.
on Twitter at Average Nobodies and on the blog AverageNobodies.com, Facebook.com/TheAverageNobodies. We'll be coming up with a new TV club. I do want to do Walking Dead when it comes back.
Yes.
But that's still about 5 or 6 weeks away.
Yep.
So we can find something to do in the meantime because the podcasts are going to keep coming in hot. This is number 46.
Wow, 46, baby.
Love
46. Love it. Love it.
But yeah, we'll find something. Maybe I think I might do a poll. We'll pick
Ooh, that's a
maybe
good idea.
2 shows premiering in September and
Okay.
2 not older shows, but 2 other shows.
Shows,
and
yeah.
see what people are interested in.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
let the voices be heard.
Yeah, and if you want to call up and give us an idea with a voicemail, 401-285-8120 is the number to call. It's our voicemail hotline. You won't get our voices. Well, you will, but it'll be a voicemail. Just talk to a voicemail, leave a message, and we'll play it on the show, or we'll play it and we'll figure out what TV show you want us to pick, and we'll take that into consideration.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Ryan, episode 46 has come to an end. Game of Thrones has come to an end, unfortunately.
Bittersweet, but it's been a pleasure reviewing season
It's
7
been
with you.
wonderful. I can't wait for
season 8.
Can't wait for season 8.
We'll be on podcast number 550.
Yeah, we'll be on a lot by then. Damn, it's gonna suck.
I know.
All right, man.
See you,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.